during 2014.
Yeah, no doubt. And Local 12's Joe Webb takes a look at some of the other big developments this year in the tri-state.
In 2014, Cincinnati took some shots and sunk some shots. It was a year like every year, with highs, lows, hits, and misses. We kicked it off with a frigid January, the cold taking a back seat on January 10th when an Indian Hill mansion burned to the ground. The $4 million question of why still hangs in the air 355 days later. The cold hung around through a brutal January and February. Cincinnati will end 2014 with nearly 20 more inches of snow than the typical year. In 2014, controversial police shootings made headlines all across the nation, and here too. Samantha Ramsey was shot and killed leaving a party in Boone County after her car hit a sheriff's deputy. John Crawford was shot in a Beavercreek Wal-Mart after dropping an air rifle he took off a shelf. The officers in both of those cases were cleared of any wrongdoing, like the officer in Ferguson, Missouri. Local Ferguson protests closed Interstate 75 for a few minutes one November night. 8 protesters went to jail. They weren't the first demonstrators locked up in Cincinnati in 2014. High-flying protesters hung banners on P&G headquarters in March and landed in court. It was a busy year in local courtrooms. High-profile murder cases ended in convictions in state courts. The Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals became a battleground in the fight over same-sex marriage. Ohio State Representative Peter Beck had his problems in court and stepped down. The so-called Pearl Lady was finally identified and a suspect rounded up for her 2006 drowning.
She don't deserve to be in jail.
Juvenile Judge Tracy Hunter's indictment, trial, conviction, and fight to stay out of jail took up most of 2014 and will be another likely story for 2015. Cincinnati showed its sense of community in 2014. When UC student Brogan Dooley went missing, throngs of volunteers lined up to search for him. Sadly, he was found very close to where he was last seen, dead by his own hand. There was plenty to celebrate in 2014. Downtown's rebirth continued and got a major shot in the arm when General Electric announced plans to build at the banks and bring 2,000 new jobs. Red Bikes got rolling, as did plans and funding for repairs to the Museum Center. No word yet on when Music Hall will get a fresh coat of paint, but it was bathed in vivid color again as Luminosity put on a sold-out show. Across the river, Toyota shocked Northern Kentucky by announcing it would leave Erlanger for Texas. For drivers, 2014 had its challenges. I-75 work dragged on, and barricades on McMicken came and went. They blew up an old Ohio River bridge for a new one in Madison, Indiana. No such luck in Cincinnati. The Brent Spence Bridge remained a riddle inside a mystery wrapped in rust. As always, it was a busy year in sports. Kentucky added real madness to March as it came one game away from another national championship. Aroldis Chapman, the Reds, got a real scare in spring training but bounced back. The Reds' best accomplishments of 2014 were off the field with the launch of their new academy. They were home for October. The Bengals started the year with a one-and-done playoff run in January, but they clawed their way back this fall for a 4th straight playoff appearance. In 2014, every Bengals fan learned the true value of a field goal. But sports taught much bigger lessons in Cincinnati in 2014. The games we love are not a matter of life and death, but can put them in perspective. Devin Still turned his daughter Leah's illness into a call to action. Even rivals responded. But it was a 19-year-old basketball player's desire to play just one more game that captured our attention. Lauren Hill turned her terminal brain cancer diagnosis into a gift. She has raised a lot of awareness and a boatload of money for research. But what she really did was what all good teammates do. She brought out the best in others. And she really brought out the best of 2014. Joe Webb, Local 12 News.
Wow, very well done.
Isn't
Thank
that
you,
the
Joe.
truth,